Hey, kia ora koutou whānau. Welcome back to another edition of Big Hairy News with special guest Beardy tonight, because he's never here. It's Chewy. Hey, Chewy.
I thought I'd pop in and see how things are going. You holding up there, champ?
Oh, getting there. It's harder doing it by yourself, bro. Except when I have to tell you, I don't know if you've heard of this yet, but on Tuesday night when the whole system went down, you got blamed for it. Not for me.
Fantastic. Yep.
The punters were just like, Chewy doesn't, because Chewy can't be here tonight. He's taking the system down. Oh, he's taking the system down.
I took the keys.
Yeah, took the keys. Yay, Chewy's back. Welcome back. So this is always difficult. I've been like nose to the grindstone for 2 nights, and their favourite comes back, and then I'm just forgotten about. Yeah, see, I agree with JK. Who's the new guy? Chewy went away for 2 nights because his beard wasn't the correct length, and he had to let it grow out just a little bit more.
Just thought really, really hard about it, and it manifested.
Okay, guys. So you've proven yourself to me on Tuesday that you don't mind a little of the old Discord talkback. And it is Thursday night, and often on a Thursday night we have been known to open up the Discord. So we are opening it up tonight. I've already put the Discord link in the chat. Maybe twice already. Shall I put it in again? Hang on, I've got to go find it. Let me find it. I'll put it in again. And if you want to come across Discord, probably in the second half of the show, but I'm just giving you the heads up. Here it comes into the chat, so everyone can see it. Into the chat like that, and then I'll put it up on screen if you're watching. I'll put that one up. There it is. There, that's the address there. So if you can see that on the screen and you can't see it in the chat, then you'll have to take it down and have a look at it. Discord.gg NE4QEXG Hubba Huge. So if you're interested in participating in Discord tonight, we'll give someone a $50 voucher for merch. And yeah, that normally happens kind of 9:30 onwards. We often have a bit of a less produced, lighter show on a Thursday night, and giving you guys a chance to come and say good day. You can get into Discord anytime you like. If you're on Discord, all you need to do is go to the waiting room, put yourself in the waiting room, and then we can have a chat with you a bit later on. Look, everyone's happy. Welcome back, Chewy, says Simon.
Got my sound back.
Now, speaking of merch, I sent out a bunch of merch today. So if you ordered off us last week, yours will be on the courier first thing in the morning. I have to tell you that there was 2 balls ups. One of them, Michael Fitzgerald ordered a t-shirt. They didn't have your size there for some reason, Michael, so yours will come next week. And Tracy Roberts, I messed up by not ordering your red t-shirt. So you're getting Tracy ordered 2 things. She ordered a hoodie and a t-shirt. The hoodie's coming, Tracy, and next week you'll get the t-shirt. I apologize to you. So one of them wasn't my fault, and one of them was my fault, because I'm dyslexic and I copy things down wrong all the time. And speaking of merch, we're doing this a bit differently tonight because it is the last night that we're going to be pushing this merch, this specific merch, which is the green and red hoodie and the green and red t-shirts that say, of course, if the left vote, the left wins. It's the last night we're pushing them. Oh, hang on, Chewy, let me go full screen with Chewy. Chewy's going to model it for us. There you go, there's the green one. If the left votes, the left wins, the left vote. People keep telling us it should be in plural. It's not, because the left is singular. If people on the left vote, then the left wins. It's as simple as that. So what I've decided to do today, because it's the lucky last chance for you to get these 2 colours, is to give you a 20% off discount.
What?
So 20% off. So that means those hoodies are more like $72 rather than $90.
Just think of the savings, people.
Won't somebody think of the children? That's all I can say. And even if we're not doing free delivery tonight, but delivery is only $5, so that means you're still going to be like $12-13 better off if you get a hoodie, and you're going to be still $5 to $6 or something dollars better off if you get a t-shirt. So this is for tonight only. As you know, promo codes are only whilst we're live, except what I've done with this one, like last Thursday, to give you all a chance that is live until 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. As we record this, it's Thursday night. If you listen to this in the next kind of 10 hours or so, it will be live. The promo code Lucky Last, one word, Lucky Last, until 8:30 a.m. Friday morning. So if you'd like to make an order, you can do that tonight. It supports us, helps us keep doing what we're doing, and also gives you some huge merch to wear around your body. You can wear it all around your body, depends how much of it you get. And Chewy's got, it's actually funny, I was going to wear my hoodie tonight, but it's warm. It's warm in my basement tonight, so I've decided not to. What else, Chewy? What have you missed? Anything you've missed since you weren't here for we had a few debriefs. We did part 2 of Luxon on Q&A, which actually we're going to touch on again tonight because I want to highlight something that John Key did in that again, put a bit of a different angle on it. But you haven't been with us for a couple of nights. Can I give you the floor for a bit if there's anything you want to share?
Oh, nothing really. I just noticed a few things in our replies. Obviously, a few more people getting eyeballs on our videos over the last week or something. You just notice trends, don't you? You notice that Marama getting hit on the pedestrian crossing. The amount of people that are in our mentions, especially on Twitter, that say she's wearing body armor, that she's padded up, that it's a false flag, that apparently road rules don't exist when you're a political figure. Just these people are crazy. So
we have a look
at the moment.
because someone actually said to me on TikTok, I think, are you guys going to be talking about this tonight? Why don't we have a look? This is what we're talking about. This is a clip that we put out. Remember at the Posey Parker Albert Park situation when Martin Davidson was said to be hit. Mm-hmm. There's video footage that I've just seen for the first time today of that happening. In the clip we're watching, I'm wearing the green t-shirt. For the first time today, the actual video footage of it happening, and I'm going to play it because it's pretty shocking, right? It's not shocking like there's not blood or anything, so it's not sensitive, but I'm shocking, and I'm shocked to see the response by it. This is not a joke, by the way. I'm not setting it up to be some funny joke. This is Martin Davidson coming out onto the pedestrian crossing, having the bike scream past her. I'll show it to you, then I'll tell you a couple of things about it. So there's the pedestrian crossing. There's Martin coming out. So that's that. We don't need to go any further than that. But the biggest thing about this whole thing was, and as I said on the night, if you count the time between the first bike going past and her, if we do this, we'll just do it live again. There's a car. So that's 2 seconds, 3, 4. So it's like 4.5 seconds. So the thing that we said on the show was obviously there was plenty of time for that bike to stop. Put that up there, and so Chewy, expand if you like, but just to give people a catch up, people have gone a little bit nutso about that, especially with the tweet I put out today, which I'll mention when you're finished.
I just noticed that a few people throwing that back at us are like, well, how do you explain the fact that she's wearing body armor? And I've seen it repeated, and it's obviously the narrative that's going round in those circles that obviously it's a big setup, and Marama. For some reason decided to wear body armor to the Posey Parker rally, and I guess organized a motorcycle gang to pretend to hit her on a pedestrian crossing. It's just like, I know these guys love the idea of a false flag, right? But it's just you tying yourself in knots to justify something that is just more obviously simple.
Yeah,
that Tamaki's little motorcycle gang decided to be all macho tough guy and make a run at a Green MP on a. Well, I don't even think they would have seen that it was Marama at all. I just think they would have seen a counter protester on a pedestrian crossing and went, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking be big macho motorbike gang guys."
So I put that out on Twitter, and there was people still responding today. And I put it out we did that on Monday, so I would have put that out on Tuesday. And there's people still responding on that Twitter feed today. So I put and talking about false flags, talking about it's a setup, talking about, it's a stunt, yada, yada, yada. And as Chewy just said, organising a big macho motorbike gang. So this is what I put out today. Obviously, incredibly sarcastically with my tongue firmly in my cheek, which some people didn't seem to quite get. It says this: hey, just quietly, you do realise that if you think Marama being hit on the pedestrian crossing is a setup or a stunt, then Destiny Church needs to be in on it as well. You do realise that, eh? Because obviously if it's a setup, then they need to be in on it. And can you see down here one of the people who responded?
Oh, we got the big man.
The Bish responded to me. Actually, I never call him that. I never call him that because it just irks me to my Catholic upbringing. And so Brian Tamaki got on my Twitter feed and said, talk through the side of your mouth, Pat Brittenden, one word. I think he means talk out the side of your mouth. You speak out the side of your mouth. You don't speak through the side of your mouth.
He's not good at language.
Talk through the side of your mouth, Pat Brittenden. You have no clue who I really am. What?
No, I think we do. I think
but
we
wait,
really do.
I tell him that because if you did, you wouldn't have put up a wacky tweet like this. So I responded to him. I said, I know exactly. I don't know, but I said, I know exactly who you are, Brian. I've been to several of your services and interviewed you more than once, and your prosperity doctrine is a dime a dozen in the US, and I know it well. Also, if you can't see the irony of my tweet, it just confirms that you're a bit dim too. And then these guys here who are a mock party, they're not real, right? Said, are you back drinking, co-boss? He's talking to Brian. Is the pressure of getting crushed in the polls getting to you? His point was it wasn't a setup. So someone then spelt it out for the Bish. So that's a good thing. Yeah, but this is the thing. And I had another person say something like, oh, fucking Bob McCoskey got in that same Twitter feed as well. It's been quite a bizarre week, actually, watching who's found us and followed us because of TikTok, really. And because someone said, so if someone threw themselves in the river, you'd blame the river as well. And it's like, no, you blame you blame the bike because it had 4 to 5 seconds to stop and it didn't. The river can't stop, you fuck knuckle. Anyway, it's actually been, just for you people watching, and there's probably some of you watching now because of TikTok, it's been a really interesting week watching what that app can do. I started posting 4 or 5 days ago more consistently, and all political stuff, and I've gone up from about 500 followers to 3,000. I'm about to overtake my followers on Twitter that I've been building for 10 years in about 5 or 6 days, and we've had more than 200,000 views of the content that me and Chewy make. So it's been quite surreal, and including getting kicked off TikTok last night, Chewy, when we tried to live stream because apparently we broke all the rules. So it's a very interesting time, and I think it is we are talking about it. I guess someone asked, are we going to talk about this? I guess we are talking about it. The point being, it doesn't actually matter what Marta, it might have been a quote unquote stunt by Marta in the form that she didn't need to stand out on the thing and hold her hand up. Although the reality is, if the motorcyclist had obeyed the rules of the land, the laws of the land, then they would have stopped. So the only criminal activity that happened there was the motorcyclist. So actually, if we want to like forgive all the political conjecture, right? If we want to say, sure, you can believe that she's wearing body armor, whatever, and we can believe whatever, the actual only law that was broken, criminal act that happened, was the person not stopping for the pedestrian crossing. So what else do we need to say, Chewy?
I think since we're talking about Destiny and the absolute pantsing that they're going to get in the polls again,
density,
we just need to go back to the archive for this brilliant piece of prophecy.
I don't say this lightly, but we will be ruling the nation.
Destiny ruling the nation. I think he gives a date.
Really?
And the government shall be upon his shoulders.
Go on, give the date.
Then peace can come to this nation.
Oh,
Peace.
okay.
But just let me tell you this quickly, as you ever see.
Does he
And
give
I'll
it a
explain
date?
a little bit more tonight.
No, we're not.
Can you just pause it for a sec, but bring it back up. I want to say one other thing. Just bring up the image. Just pause it and bring up the image.
Look at that hair.
No. I'm looking at the
Before
clothes.
he found-
Okay, laddie. Okay, then you got my kilt on. Okay, laddie. Anyway.
And just in case you were wondering when that prophecy of destiny ruling New Zealand was, that's
About 1984 from the look of the hair.
14 years ago. 14 years ago.
You sure it's not 87 looking at that hair?
Good Lord. Yeah, he's probably got some other, what do they call it? Prosperity churches, pastors, garage sale.
The other thing is, though, there is a movement within the Christian world at the moment that will think that prophecy has come true if Luxon gets in. Like they will. They'll think it's come true if Luxon gets in because, he's got that, claims to have that faith, although I question it, but, claims to have that faith. Anyway. Okay. Let's have a look at a pretty massive story today. Mm-hmm. We're still talking about Christopher Luxon's gaping hole.
Massive.
In his tax plan.
Gaping hole.
Massive gaping tax plan hole. And what's happened today is there has been a couple of economists bring out a report. Now, the interesting thing about this report is one of them is from the left and one of them is from the right, or should we say leans left and leans right. That's probably a better way to say it. The gentleman who leans left, his name is Sam Warburton, and I believe I'm going to be talking to him tomorrow afternoon. Nice. So there may be a Friday night show, but it'll probably be a pre-record. And the other thing is, remember I told you that we had, don't you hate it when a name jumps out of your head? McKinney from the CTU. Was going to be coming on today, but as we speak, he's flying to Montreal. So he's going to message me overnight, and we may connect with him tomorrow afternoon as well. So we may actually have a Friday night show. So this is a good time if you're watching us on YouTube to hit that notification bell and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because we don't normally do a Friday night show unless we have a special reason to. Tomorrow we might. So therefore, if you ring that bell, ding, 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 ding. When do you get sound effects? Where's your sound bar when we need it, Chewy?
On Discord, which we're doing later.
Okay, we'll do it later on though. I'll say ring that bell and you find a sound effect for me. And that means you will know if we're live tomorrow night, Friday night. So Sam Warburton is one of the economists. He leans left, although he did work for the New Zealand Initiative. So I'm interested as to how he managed to do that whilst being a left-leaning pundit or economist, I guess you'd say. And the other gentleman is, I think, one of the workers of the Reserve Bank, who you'll hear the announcer here say pretty much doesn't like Labor. And they've come up with some pretty interesting information today.
There's a $530 million a year shortfall in National's foreign buyers tax.
When you say it so quickly, it doesn't sound so bad, does it? $530 million a year. So that's $2 billion over their 4 years. $530 million. Just like that. Just quickly out your mouth. It's just like that.
Calculations. That's according to 3 independent economists from across the political spectrum who've crunched the numbers. But Christopher Luxon's rejecting the latest analysis as just more opinion, sticking to the party's own projections. Deputy Political Editor Mikey Sherman reports.
Oh, my God.
Some fresh West Coast whitebait.
Oh, mate, that's my favourite.
After a week of strong polls, Christopher Luxon should be celebrating.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
First time
But today, a bombshell on the party's foreign buyers tax.
It's just not going to raise anything like the money that they say it's going to raise. They will have to cover that cost some other way.
National says its 15% foreign buyers tax would gather $740 million per year. But the report suggests they'll only get $210 million, leaving the party over $500 million short annually. Even the most generous model of $290 million in revenue still leaves a $450 million gap.
Brutal.
Now, remember we talked about this last night, and for Chewy, you weren't here, but we talked about this last night. Luxon is starting to go, well, this is only part of our funding model. It's only part of the funding model. So, it's only part of the funding model. But they're talking about a $16 billion tax cut, right? $2 billion of that, right? So 530 million or 450 million times 4 is either just over or just under $2 billion. That is, I think, officially in economic terms called a shit ton, or is it a fuck ton? Somewhere between a shit ton and a fuck ton of money. And you think how much the ACT Party and the National Party criticise Labor if they're out by $1 on anything. So even if they were correct, even if National was correct and all of the other numbers worked out, they'd still be out by $2 billion in their plan. So don't accept anyone telling you, yeah, but they've got other ways of doing it. First, because that's not what they've said. And second, because if they do need to find another $2 billion, they're going to have to find it through cuts or selling assets. That's the danger, Chewy.
And you had Nicola Willis today almost being gleeful about being able to make something like $14 million worth of cuts before Christmas, which just means workers. It means people in government departments that fucking do things out on their ass before Christmas, and she's stoked about it.
She is.
That's the whole plan.
That's the other thing, is there's been just a finance debate on as well, which we didn't cover. It was finishing around the time I was prepping, so I haven't really looked at it. So I might do that tomorrow as well, which means there might be a little pre-recorded show for you. But the one thing I did see was David Seymour says he wants to cut 15,000 jobs. So that's good. Well done, Mr. Seymour. That's how you bring down inflation. You just delete 15,000 people from the workforce and up unemployment by another 3 or 4 or 5%. Well done, sir. Well done.
$50 million gap. How would you describe this in one word?
A balls up.
2 words, a big gap.
3 words.
500 million is a lot of money. 500 a year is a lot of money.
Christopher Luxon refutes his...
So this is the guy who's considered, right-leaning. Pretty seriously right-leaning. And he's just speaking at it. So in other words, this is not... You actually can't claim political bias here. This is actually just people crunching the numbers and giving their analysis.
500 million is a lot of money. 500 a year is a lot of money.
Christopher Luxon refutes his party's numbers are coming up short.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
You are. Where are you going to find that?
I'm first of all telling you we're not. Absolutely confident in our numbers.
The national leader went on the attack, minimising the economy.
I didn't realise, Cherry, all you have to do is say, nah, and that means it all goes away.
Mate.
Yeah.
No, we've got 15 people here that say your numbers are bullshit. Nah, they're not.
Nah, can't be. You shut up.
Shut up, Dick.
You shut up first. You shut up the most.
Dick.
No, you dick.
And here's my
Scucks for life, Dick. You dick.
We got
shut up.
Swag.
Economists' views.
There'll be a range of economic opinions. Economists have a range of opinions. I appreciate there's a range of opinions. I appreciate there's a different set of views. I appreciate there's different takes on that.
Then going...
Will there be consequences for this?
A very nice part from the interview when he was talking about, not this exactly because this wasn't out there, but to do with the tax cuts. When he said that, Jack Tame said, no, we're listening to what John Key said. Not the people I'm saying. John Key is what John Key has said, which we're going to get to shortly, very shortly.
After Labor.
Let's be honest about what's going on here, which is that the Labor government want to discredit it.
And then the media.
He's doing a pretty good job of it himself, wouldn't you say?
This fucking revelation he's come to, that the opposition party to him, the other guys that want to be government, are making him look like a fool. This is unheard of. This has never happened in an election.
Yeah.
That someone's gone, no, your numbers are fucked. They're coming for you, so make sure your numbers are right, and they're not. And it's not the Labor Party. It's not just the Labor Party going, we think your numbers are bullshit. This is people
the numbers
whose whole job is to find out whether the numbers are bullshit.
It's like me holding a hand with red hot marbles in it, and blaming someone else for my hand being burnt. No, it's the marbles that are burning it. That's a hot marbles. That's the reason you're burning your hand. Just like it's the numbers that are actually ridiculing you. Your numbers, the ones that you won't release. And you can see he's getting more and more pissy about that. Every time people are saying, why won't you release your workings? Show us your workings. He's getting more and more and more pissy about it. And he gets pissy about it here as well. Let's keep looking.
These economists today, they're not Labor Party guys, right?
Helped by heckling farmers.
Do you want to ask a farming question? Because I think these 5 people would like to hear the media of New Zealand ask a good question on farming.
Okay. If I was a farmer and I wanted to understand your tax cuts, how would you explain your $2 billion gap? Is that a farming question? I mean, it might be a farming question. Maybe. Maybe not.
Only is National's tax plan completely cooked. I think the economic credibility's gone down the toilet with it as well.
Chris Hipkins, slightly smug, sipping today's tea. Another economist is warning the real pain would come after the election, saying National's full suite of policy changes could inflate the housing market once more.
I think there's the potential for a 20% rise in house prices the day after the election.
Now, I'm interested with Bernard Hickey here because I'm sure I don't need to ask you what's the obvious question, Sherry. I'm sure you know it as well. The obvious question I want to ask him is how?
Yeah.
Like, how and why? Why would the housing market jump by 20%? Why would a $1 million house be on the Friday before the election be worth 1.2 million on the Monday after the election? Like, how and why? That doesn't get asked, obviously, in these kind of, 8-second video clips from Bernard Hickey, but that's what I'd like to know.
If it's clear that National and ACT are going to win.
National's focus on that, at least, is rock solid, refusing to be distracted. Mikey Sherman, One News.
And National's tax sums are expected to dominate a fiery debate between political party finance leaders in Queenstown tonight. Yes. Business correspondent Katie Bradford's there. Kia ora, Katie. How unusual is it to see economists come out like this and directly criticise policies?
Kia ora, good evening. What is unusual here is these are three economists, very well-known economists who are across the political spectrum who have come together and crunch these numbers and say they don't add up. Michael Riddell in particular, who you heard in that story there, he worked at the Reserve Bank for over 2 decades. He is not known to be a fan of the Labour Party, for instance, and he just says Nicola's numbers do not work. Now, we've been talking to Nicola here in Queenstown this afternoon. She is standing by that plan. She has gone a bit further and explained some of her methods, how they got to this today. She's still not releasing those figures, but she says, for instance, that they were based on an average house price sale of $2.9 million. National are not going to back away from this. The problem for them is this. Either these numbers add up and they will be selling a large number of very expensive houses to people from overseas, causing the housing market to inflate and house prices to go up for ordinary Kiwis, or they will not sell those number of houses and their tax bill won't add up. So here in Queenstown tonight is the finance leaders debate. You can expect to see Grant Robertson, Nicola Willis, James Shaw and David Seymour on stage tonight. This is sort of the economic centrepiece financial debate of the election campaign. Obviously comes at an interesting time. You can expect it to be fiery. You can expect them all to have practiced their one-liners all afternoon.
Talking about the debate now, that'll do. So there you go, Chewy. Have a crack, son. You can go first because, we've been doing this for a couple of nights and this has been part of the conversation. And then I'll get to Mr. Key and how he adds to this conversation.
Whenever I see Christopher Luxon cosplaying as a relatable working man on a farm, I just want one thing from the media. And I know they're watching us, right? Please show me his shoes. Okay, I would not trust a politician on a farm that wasn't wearing gummies.
Right.
Bonus points at their red bands,
sure.
But stop taking the piss. But yeah, it's like there's the absolute refusal to show their workings, the absolute refusal to put up better evidence in the face of people going, well, actually, this is bullshit, right? It just no, they're right. We wrote them down and everything. Can I see them? No, but they're right. It's
like when you catch a little kid. I've done that. I've seen this with my children when they were little. Chocolate all around the mouth. Did you eat the chocolate? No.
No, these aren't tax cuts.
Yeah, it's wiping the. No, shut up. You shut up. It's just
massive redundancies.
So here's the thing and I haven't mentioned this last night. I'm going to mention it now. It's something we actually watched last night, but we're going to watch a little clip of it again. It's former Prime Minister John Key. Now, he says pretty clearly when he tried to do what Luxon's trying to do and they couldn't do it, right? Let me play this all through and I'll tell you the one thing that I realised, and I don't want to say this too loudly, but that impressed me about John Key that's missing in Christopher Luxon. I'm going to give John Key some credit in a second. It's not to do with him trying to balls it up, but you'll hear why. So we're going to hear his conversation as to why he couldn't put a stamp duty on, which is a tax, and then Jack Tame will read a comment from him, as to what they could have done to put that stamp duty on. So we've already seen this all, right? But I'm going to play it again because I want to spell something out about the difference between Key and Luxon at the end.
We don't have the right to put it on, funnily enough, a stamp duty. And the reason for that is that stamp duty was, taken off the table, if you like, through the free trade agreements we had, not only with Australia and Japan, and it also includes Mexico.
Again, stamp duty very similar to the tax that you were proposing. Now, since then, New Zealand signed the 2019 tax treaty with China, which has the same provision, meaning that we couldn't put in the discriminatory clause. However, John Key got advice that there was one way around that discrimination issue in the double tax agreements. There was one way to tax foreign buyers. You have to apply the fee to all non-tax residents. The problem with that is that it includes New Zealand citizens. So here's what John Key said. A tax on non-residents would capture some New Zealand citizens as well as foreigners, as it would be applied on the basis of residency, not nationality.
So therefore, all those people doing their OE, bringing pounds sterling back to New Zealand to buy their house, would have had to have paid stamp duty. So guess what? They didn't do it. So the thing I realised today, actually, as I was editing some stuff together for social media, was the difference between John Key and Christopher Luxon. John Key investigated the same idea. He went down the path of implementing it. He realised they couldn't do it. He did his research because of the FTA, the free trade agreements. He found a way around it. And then he went, oh shit, we're not going to tax New Zealand citizens, so we're not going to do it. So basically, he tried to do it. He figured out he couldn't do it. And he admitted he couldn't do it. I think that's a huge difference here. Because Luxon tried to do it, had to be told by others he couldn't do it, and now he's going, nah, shut up, stomping my feet, shut up, nah, I'm going to do it anyway. And I just think when you talk about likability, personality, I'd have a beer with that person. I can see more clearly today, just with that little clip, why John Key had something that the public liked that Luxon can't and never will.
I think when it comes to to John Key, right? As much as I don't like the guy or his government, there was one thing that he was really good at, and that was reading the way that the wind was going to blow.
Yep.
Like
reading the room.
If it was going to be an unpopular policy, no, I'm not going to touch it because it's going to wreck my popularity and my ability to keep leading the party. Where I just, and I've got nothing to base this on but vibes, but I get the thing with it's just the vibe of the thing. That Luxon is following his own cheerleaders too much.
Yeah.
Right? He's spending so much time with more friendly groups of people like business leaders and farmers and all of that sort of stuff. And not sort of going up against tougher things. And he's just like, all of these guys agree with me. So let's roll. Let's go with it.
Yeah. And to be honest, maybe they can't back down now because they're this close to the election. But the reality is I think most people would acknowledge and admit, in fact, put it this way. Have you heard anyone, the most ardent national supporter, the David Farriers of this world, actually come out and going, yep, you can do this? I haven't heard anyone. The only economist that I've heard actually support it is the economist that did it. Every other economist says you can't do it. It seems like, I don't know whether you'd call it petulance or dogma or just bloody mindedness, or he hasn't got the humility to be able to go, well, team, we got that one wrong. Because I tell you what, the way they're riding in the polls at the moment, he could probably come out pretty comfortably and go, you know what, there's a few things we have to check out. We'll regroup and give you some more stuff before the election. But they're just doing this, digging their heels in, saying, we're right, you're wrong. We're right, you're wrong. And it's horrible. It's really ugly. Don't like it at all.
Here's a thought that I had, right, though. We've had a couple of pretty brutal polls.
Yep.
And we're going to have another poll, I assume, next week that's going to cover this week, right? And my concern is that we're at a point in the election where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
that it doesn't matter if you can like literally show on a map that they've come up with this idea on the back of a Bellamy's napkin over a few drinks. People are still going to vote for it's time for a change. I don't like Team Red. It's always good to have a change, that sort of thing. And we might end up with the least deserving government ever. Like, I mean, I can understand, like, let's say when Helen Clark's government lost, right? I thought that was a deserving loss, right? National were better prepared. They had better arguments. Helen Clark's government had completely run out of puff. But I just don't, as much as I don't like them, I don't think National have deserved where they are in the polls at the moment.
Well, it's that always conversation. Do you vote a government in or do you vote a government out? And most of the time you vote one out, and probably most of the time you could probably make that argument. Let's say a majority of the time, whether it's 51% or 80%, I don't know. But I think most of the time people get sick of the incumbents and vote them out. And I've had this conversation for years when I was working on Talkback, because people would just say it's time for a change. It's time for a change. And I'd say, I understand that. That's one side of a coin. But you know how the equal and opposite is as valid? Because it's time for a change is the equal and opposite to better the devil you know. You know, so they actually have equal validity when you're trying to make an argument. But for some reason, as voters, as humans, we err on it's time for a change. Well, not we, because I think we always know where we're going to vote, as in if it was you and me, Chewy, but the public in general tend to lean on that sign of it's time for a change more heavily than better the devil you know. I guess I would say this, though, when it came to the COVID election, and we all know that was one for the ages, that was certainly better the devil you know. Because that's why Labour got a majority, because they got in there and absolutely, they were like, the whole country was like, we're not changing these guys. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're just going to let them keep going. That's probably the only time that I've ever experienced better the devil you know, as opposed to time for a change.
And like my own household act billboard that I still have somewhere that chat absolutely hates and will never see again. It's time for a change. It really needs to be answered by someone going, yeah, but is it good change though?
Yeah.
Completely. I think just, as much as going after National on their numbers can seem really petty, it's really important, because this is the corner piece of their whole pitch. And if it's built on fucking sand, then it's really going to bite in ways that no one really expects. Like, if their numbers were solid, you can kind of go, okay, well, we know what's going to happen here. But here, like, if it's just a look at this while they do something else, then it can come around and make some people's heads spin. Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's have a look at one other thing. It's actually from a couple of days ago. It's to do with Luxon again. It's about PREFU, which is such a good acronym, and about the books being opened up, because he was on national radio a couple of mornings ago. We didn't play it. I'd like to play some of it now, a little bit of the commentary from him on national radio, because it's a similar sort of thing. Them talking about, can you just please tell us some people who actually support your numbers? That'll wrap this part up. And then, look, we'll open up the Discord if you want to jump in there. JK, I can see that you're in the live stream chat. If you want to actually be a part of have a chat with us, then jump into the waiting room. Then we know that's what you're waiting for us to do, and I can bring you across. So if you want to have a chance to win yourself $50 worth of merchandise, now that can either go just straight to a T-shirt, so you get a free T-shirt, or we can give you a discount on a hoodie, and you can just pay the difference. So a $50 voucher for someone who has a chat with us. From Discord, you just need to jump into the waiting room. And speaking of hoodies, a huge thanks to Raywin and to Gary, who have bought hoodies since we've been started. Head to bhnshop.nz. Promo code for tonight is 20% off is Lucky Last. Now that's 20% off anything you buy. One thing, two things, everything. You do still pay shipping for this because we can't double up the discount, but the 20% off actually is a much better discount than free shipping. So 20% off until 8:30 tomorrow morning, bhnshop.nz, using the promo code Lucky Last. If you want to win some merch, jump into the waiting room, and we're just going to play a little bit of this, and then we'll go have a chat with some people, Chewy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, sounds good.
So this was yesterday morning, and this was Corin Dan talking yesterday morning? Maybe it was the morning before. But talking about PREFU after the books had been opened. And remember, again, economists pretty much the country over were saying, nah, the books aren't too bad. Nah, the books are much better than we expected. They're not doing, it's okay. They gave it a C, right? They gave it a C. Luxon, of course, came out with Nicola Willis and gave it an F because they have to. And this is a bit of the following on conversation from that.
And they will get to know it, Corin. They'll get to know it before the voting starts, and we'll do that through making sure we've got a comprehensive fiscal plan. But I'm not going to do it a day after having seen pre-FIT and digesting all the materials associated with it. Nicola and I will take our time. We'll put together a very comprehensive, good fiscal plan like we have with our tax plan.
There it is.
And people will be very clear about how we'll manage it.
Well, that means that you're open to criticism then, because let's look at right-wing, well, it's a bit harsh, but let's just say fiscally conservative economist Michael Riddell. He's very critical of Labor. He is very critical of you too. He says the back pocket boost package was advertised as only fiscally neutral. It is clear that the foreign buyer tax numbers do not add up. For now, the package adds to an already very large deficit.
What a load of rubbish. The bottom line is that our tax plan is fully funded. It comes through revenue raising, as you identified, but also reprioritisation of savings. And we have delivered for low and middle income New Zealanders.
Well, you point me to any economists other than Castilia who did your numbers who say that your tax plan adds up, because I can't find any, and I can give you a nice long list of people who say that it doesn't.
We've had a Labor Party try to say that, we had challenges around FTAs, we've had challenges around tax treaties, we've had challenges about taking the ban away, and all of those points have been disproven. We've released 32 pages around our documents. We've
by my mum. She said I'm cool.
Released our reviewers' remarks, and we've also released legal advice.
Michael Riddell doesn't think they add up. He's a fiscal conservative. Shamabil Yaqub doesn't think they add up. Eric Crampton from the New Zealand Initiative, right-wing think tank, he doesn't think they add up. Tell me someone who does.
We are going to deliver tax relief to low and middle income New Zealanders that are doing it tough, and after what they saw yesterday, are having to deal with a cost of living crisis going on for longer, with higher inflation and higher interest rates.
There you go. That'll do us. So you can just see he's getting it from all sides. He's getting grumpy about it. And he should be getting it from all sides, because every time people ask him the question, show us, he goes, yeah, well, people disagree.
We'll deliver tax relief to lower and middle income. Get fucked. Like his own tax calculator doesn't tell that story. Like, what's he comparing it to? The fact that Labor aren't doing that, but they're doing a whole, like, they're not giving you a tax cut, but they're going to give under 30s dental and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, fruit and veg, whatever. But, he's not delivering the biggest tax cuts. And it's not for me. It's not for you, Pat. It's not for any of us that are looking at this show, unless we have a listener with over 150k annual income.
And if we
it's not for you.
If we do have that, then bhnshop.nz.
Slide into our DMs, whatever.
You need to get into Discord, sir, so we can talk to some people. Go on.
Piss
off, Chewie. Get into Discord.
Okay.
You turn off your mic in this StreamYard. Turn on your mic, your other mic, so the lovely people who are in Discord right now can hear you. And then when you do that, you talk to me, and I say hello back again. Waiting for you, Chewie. Waiting for the Chewie. Waiting for the Chewie. Into the live call in. It's all right. We got time, Chewie. We don't have to. There's no rush here, mate. We're all good. We don't need to rush around. Yeah, you need to be in there. Now you can say hello to me, Chewie, so we can hear you. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
All right. We're good to go. You can hear me, Chewie?
I can hear you, Patrick.
Okay, then. Let's go talk to some people. Let's talk to JK. Hey, JK.
Hi.
All right.
Coming through, okay.
Yep, all good.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember ages ago when Muldoon was being interviewed, and the reporter said, can you name one economist who agrees with you? And he said, what would they know? Well, we're getting very similar lines from Willis, aren't we? From an English lit major, can't find one single economist who agrees, but she's right.
Yeah. I do wonder this as well, JK. I wonder if people are saying the audio is pretty bad as well. So if this is the case, we may not stick with this at all for very long, but we'll see what happens. I do wonder as well what how long this will go on for. Yeah, look at the sound. Everyone's saying the sound's no good. I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm gonna do that. Can you guys still talk to me?
You want me to talk to you?
We do that now.
Oh, and Chewy.
Just that one more time. Can we hear now, people? I've just changed one setting on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because we have to wait. There's about a 20-second delay. Just tell me, people, if that's made any difference at all, and if it has, or if it hasn't. 5,
talk again.
4.
Test.
Yep, we're okay. You're right there, JK. We're just seeing because there's a bit of a delay.
It's still bad.
Still bad.
It's your mic too bad. No change. Still bad. Okay.
All right. Well, listen. I'm sorry to do this time around. We can get out of there, get back in the StreamYard. We're just going to cut that because we're not going to play with it tonight. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the audio and stuff this week. I'm hoping now that we've just turned everybody off and Chewy's got back in the StreamYard, then that's going to be it.
I can hear it from you, Pat. Yeah, it's something else. It's not Discord. Hang on, say something.
Maybe it's time to. Hi there.
No, it's come back to normal now.
How you doing?
It's come back to normal.
Okay. I may need to take my desk into the rock shop and give it a bit of a clean up, my audio desk, because it sounds like maybe there are some issues, because we did Discord for an hour on Tuesday night. So
and that fucked it. You used up all your Discord. That's what happened. You used all your Discord and now it's all fucked.
What I was going to say is I wonder how long we can talk about, because maybe because how Luxon's acting, maybe because Luxon is very much saying, no, nothing to see here, is continuing it on. Because I kind of feel there's a part of me which kind of goes, I'm a bit surprised we're still talking about it. Like this is, out of all the things that they've said, I mean, it's a big thing, don't get me wrong. It's a big thing. But it's one thing and we're still talking about it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be talking about it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. But I wonder if we'll be talking about this up until election day. Because as Jack Tame has said, as RNZ was just saying, they could clear it up by releasing their workings, and they're not. So, yeah, it's a bit bizarre.
Yeah, I think if you were comfortable with your numbers, right, you'd just throw it out there and go, well, have at it, nerds. You know, we've got our own caged nerds that we keep here, and they say it's good, so we're going with that. But yeah, just the utter refusal to do anything about it just doesn't ring true. And it's coming. I've seen this comment multiple times. It's coming across as very arrogant, which is a surefire way to turn off at least some voters.
It's a we know best thing, isn't it? It's a we know best. We've got nothing to apologise. Fuck you guys. What we say goes.
But once again, it's there's two things to be concerned about here. Is that it's putting Luxon in front of a lot of interviewers.
Yeah.
Where he's able to get his message out. Like, there's not a lot of push through from Hipkins, say, apart from smugly drinking a cup of coffee. And the other thing that I'm concerned about is the old dead cat tactic that National has really loved in the past, which is like, I assume you guys have heard of it, but for those of you that haven't, the dead cat tactic is to walk into a boardroom and smash a dead cat down on the table, and everyone's going to talk about what a horrible, monstrous, disgusting thing that you've done, and all focus is going to be on that and not the other devious shit you're doing while everybody else is talking about the dead cat that you smashed down. John Key was the absolute master of that. So I worry. Like, I worry about this anyway, but...
Let me give you a concrete example of that. When I was at university, the government every year would come out and say, university fees are going up by 15% next year. And everyone would go, what are you doing? What's going on? And after a few months, they'd come back and go, oh, look, okay, it's only going to be 8%. And everyone went, yay! They didn't go, what do you mean 8%? They went, yay, only 8%. So it was the thing that everyone was focused on, it going up by 15%. It went up by 8%, and they celebrated, not thinking it had gone up by 8%. Just on what you're saying, though, as well, and about Luxon, there was an interesting article. I won't go through it entirely. I don't know how to pronounce the gentleman's surname, but Felix from TVNZ has written this. Political reporter Felix Desmarius looks at National leader Christopher Luxon's performance on the campaign trail, arguing he needs to learn how to stand up to scrutiny better. And that feels very real at the moment. It's like, I think this is what was being said about the ACT Party candidates as well. Are they aware, if there's going to be 12 of them in government, if they do have some cookers and some stuff in there as well, how they're actually going to handle being scrutinised significantly? Are they aware what's coming? And what happens if next year they win and Axon and 3 of their MPs get found out to be absolute lunatics, because the scrutiny will go through the roof if you're in government compared to being in opposition. Not even being in opposition, being a candidate for an opposition party.
Yeah, because he comes off as pissy and dismissive. That's all we've seen this week, right? I just seen this comment come up in chat from Spiderhoof. I'm gonna put it up. National just announced a water policy for farmers, allowing them to take water reserves that were previously banned, and they have to have a plan to store other water as well. Now, I don't know if you guys have been following the news as far as the sort of summer that we're staring down the barrel of at the moment. That we've got an El Nino summer, which is going to be very, very dry and very, very hot. So, I don't know. There's 2 ways that you could look at that water policy, couldn't you?
Well, this says the main points National's proposing that no longer require farmers to have resource consent to build a water storage pond on farmland unless wetlands or significant natural areas are affected. Councils will be required to approve or decline consents for other types of water stored within 2 years of application. Consents for water storage will be extended to 30 years. Under Labor, consents only lasted 10 years. Make commercially grown fruit and vegetables for human consumption a permitted activity under the resource. I don't know if that's any of it, but that's what came up when I googled it very quickly. Farmers will no longer need resource consent to build water storage in most situations. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah. So I mean, staring down the barrel of probably a drought, and in my opinion, probably a record-breaking drought, is if they're just going to let the farmers go hog wild on taking water willy-nilly or storing water willy-nilly without a real plan. I mean, that could be, look, I'll be generous here. That could be a fantastically well-timed piece of legislation to keep people's crops and livestock irrigated, hydrated, whatever. Or it could be a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a middle ground on that. But I think we're looking at a long, hot summer with no rain. And look, I still remember what the Canterbury droughts in the late 80s were like. And that was with sheep. They don't need as much water as cows do.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it today, though. There's interesting to do. I noticed that when challenged by Jack Tame over the weekend, Luxon said that the greenhouse emissions, the basic climate issues to do with the 2030 agreements and the 2050 agreements will be all honoured by a national government. And Jack Tame says, does that include the methane emissions? And Luxon said, everything that's in there we will honour. And I don't know how that's going to go over with farmers, because farmers hate the methane emission parts of the climate issues within government. So also Rose says water banking in Australia has fucked the ecology downstream of some rivers. I would believe that too. So if you're closer to the source and you bank your own water and there's 10 farmers that do it and then use it all up, then what? So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Canterbury, right? And the Canterbury Plains just does not retain water. It's a giant fucking riverbed most of the time.
Yeah.
And absolutely, that's why the water table there is fucked, and bore water has enormous levels of nitrates in it now because of the massive switch from sheep farming to dairy on basically ground that does not retain water. So I do wonder about these guys with these massive dairy farms going into it's a core memory that I can remember from the Canterbury droughts of going out to our batch at the Rangitata riverbed, and the river was almost dry, and there were just dead stock stacked up next to farm gates all the way out there. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think when the climate crisis really starts to bite, I wouldn't want to be a cow farmer.
Yeah. Hey, let's wrap up with a couple of things. The first is, remember, this is your last chance to get those red and green hoodies and T-shirts. We will be removing them from the catalogue, I guess, and I'll probably do it over the weekend. But if you want to get a red one or a green one, if the left votes, the left wins. Those are the ones that you're looking at on the screen right now with the white print. You can also get them with black print. I know someone's ordered a few red ones with black print. Red and black, almost like the colour of a political party. And green and white, almost like the colour of a political party. Then we have a promo code going right now that gives you 20% off. And that promo code goes till 8:30 tomorrow morning. And the promo code is Lucky Last, because it is your lucky last chance to get yourself some of that gear. The BHN merch will stay. That's always going to be there. But the left vote, left wins ones will be going away after tomorrow. So you need to get in. You have to be watching live to get in and do that. The other thing, Chewy, is Tuesday night is the first leaders debate of next week. So we'd always plan to be here for that at 7 o'clock. I'm assuming that's still the plan at the moment. So make sure you join us on Monday night. And on Monday night, we will give you all the details of what's happening on Tuesday night. But expect to be here 7 o'clock Tuesday night. I noticed that the debate tonight was, I think, a TVNZ debate, and it was being carried on Stuff and New Zealand Herald and TVNZ and News Hub. So I don't think there's going to be any qualms with us simulcasting the TVNZ debate. So if you want to be with us on Tuesday night, be here at 7. A good reminder for you to hit that notification bell. If you're watching us on demand and you haven't done that yet, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, because when we go live, then you'll know. Same if you're watching us on Facebook, or if you're watching us on Twitter as well, just follow me and Chewy, and then when we go live, you'll know. I'm in communication with TikTok over the weekend. I'm going to see if we can live stream to TikTok. I don't know if they're going to let us. It seems to be one of those things that you send them a message and you get a whole bunch of, what do they call them? Rote answers coming back to you, and no actual real people. So who knows? Maybe we'll just go live anyway. Even if we get removed again, we get removed again. But definitely Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, be here. But other than that, I think we're done for the week, and we will catch you again on Monday night from 9 p.m. for a regular show. Anything else to Mastodon? Mastodon, Pat. Mastodon. Can we live stream to Mastodon? Is that what's being asked, Chewy? You're a Mastodon person?
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, right.
I will investigate.
But it probably
I do have a Mastodon, so yeah, if we can, sure.
It probably means we'll be live streaming on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and Twitch at the very least. Maybe TikTok. We'll see how that goes. So there's lots of places you'll be able to find it, and we'll be watching it with you, and we'll probably be having conversations during the ad breaks. So be with us on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Other than that, be safe through the weekend. Come back and see us on Monday night at 9 p.m. for another edition. Remember, Monday nights are always great because we've got a weekend's worth of stuff to get through, and there is a very good chance that there may be a show tomorrow night if the interviews pan out. I suspect there probably will be. It might only be a 20 or 30 or 40-minute show with a couple of interviews, but there probably will be. It probably will be a pre-record, and other than that, we'll be back Monday night. So possibly Friday, Tuesday at 7, back to regular broadcasting Monday at 9. Be there or be a banana. I think that's what the saying is, isn't it, Chewy?
Sure.
All right, teams.
I'm going to leave you with the same message that I did earlier in the week. Be unbearable. Talk to people about this shit. Get them to watch our show, but also get them to fucking vote.
Yeah.
That is your mission.
Cool bananas. All right, team. We'll catch you maybe pre-record tomorrow night. Definitely live at 9 o'clock next Monday. Be safe. Have a good weekend. See you soon.